Welcome, my dear friends, to the WordSmith, a haven where poetry meets melody and every syllable is given its rightful stage. I'm Carl, and today we draw the final curtain on a trilogy that has quite frankly redefined the art of modern storytelling through music. And today, it is Wren's Violet's Tale. I believe it is the haunting human conclusion to a narrative web that began with Jenny's tale and then Screech's tale, and now it just beckons us once more into the depths of consequence, compassion, and catharsis, I believe. Together, we shall dissect the lyrical architecture, the vocal nuance, and the emotional and sonic tapestry Wren so meticulously weaves. And if you've missed the journey thus far, you'll find my complete Wren reaction playlist waiting for you in the description below. A compendium of reflection and discovery. As always, if you find meaning, solace, or inspiration within the space, do consider leaving a comment, a like, and subscribing to join our growing circle of thinkers, feelers, and lovers of music. Share this video if it resonates with your soul, for art, when shared, multiplies its light. And of course, as you see right now, those whose names are gracing the screen, my deepest gratitude to you. Your generosity through Patreon, Buy Me a Coffee, Super Thanks, or channel membership sustains the lifeblood of this channel and keeps these explorations alive. You are, quite literally, part of the story being told here. Now, let us journey into Wren's final act, Violet's Tale. Okay, here we go. It's the same key. Oh yes, Wren. He's a hell of a guitarist. Nice hammer-on technique. Nice socks, lad. Oh, double hand. Oh, that's so good. Oh, that's absolutely brilliant. Honestly, it's such good guitar work. Was he professionally trained, or is he a professional musician? Because that's very, very skillful. Okay. So, Wren's introduction to Violet's Tale. Again, masterclass in expressive guitar artistry, executed with both technical brilliance and emotional sensitivity. You can actually hear it. And here he employs a technique known as two-handed tapping, wherein both hands dance upon the fretboard, not strumming or plucking in the conventional sense, but rather striking and articulating the notes directly. So this approach transforms the guitar into something almost pianistic, allowing him to weave cascading harmonics and percussive melodies simultaneously. The result is a soundscape that feels intimate yet orchestral, delicate yet possessed of an undercurrent of tension, which sort of perfectly mirrors the psychological intricacy and narrative gravity that unfolds within the trilogy's climactic chapter. So really good start from Wren, of course. Okay, taking it back slightly, and let's keep it going. Good head voice. Nice control.
London city, far from pretty, too 005, a lady down in Paddington is fighting just to stay alive. Rhythmic beats and bloodstains, she's our lady weep, she's tired and frail. To set the scene, we must rewind the hands of time for Violet's tale.
Great intro. Okay, we now find ourselves immersed in the lyrics. The opening verse of Violet's Tale immediately immerses us in a cinematic tableau. London City, far from pretty. Sound familiar? And that's a line that strips away romanticized notions of the metropolis and exposes instead its unvarnished humanity. And Ren's lyricism here is both visceral and compassionate. He paints the sterile glow of a hospital ward through the rhythmic pulse of beeps and blood-stained sheets, as he says. And what that does is it's fusing poetic imagery with clinical precision. The temporal marker 2005 grounds the story in gritty realism, while the mournful cadence of the line evokes both exhaustion and inevitability. Our lady weeps, she's tired and frail. Then, with exquisite narrative sleight of hand, Ren beckons us to rewind the hands of time, transforming what begins as an ending into a genesis. This moment of retrospection, a poetic aperture, opens the final act of the tragic act of this tragic trilogy, promising both revelation and reckoning as Violet's story unfurls beneath the weight of fate. And okay, so let's keep this going. That was a good start. I'm going to be pausing a lot. This is probably going to be a long video.
Hands of time for Violet's tale.
I'm guessing he writes all of his music. Okay.
Violet was a silent girl, grew up with violent starts. Her mother was a drinker and her father was a bastard. Every night he took a tie but never left the room. I'll spare you with the things he did, I'm sure her mother knew. Violet was a silent girl, she moved out at 16. A semi-detached council flat, paid for by a welfare scheme. Packing shelves at Tesco, stacking jars like pickled bricks. She met a boy named Stevie and he was a little prick. Violet was a silent girl and Violet she fell fast. See, Stevie was the wrong un, but Isha knew how to charm her. Every night he took her tie but never left the room. History repeats itself, he'd paint her black and blue and
Gosh, his songs always tell such a vivid and graphic story. I mean, I appreciate the art behind it, but also makes my stomach churn. As some of you may know, I have a very soft heart. So, okay, anyone who commits domestic abuse or who may be committing it right now, hello, you bastard. Okay, so this passage from Violet's Tale is among Ren's most devastatingly eloquent works, in my opinion. It's a bleak sonnet to generational trauma, cyclical abuse, and the silent endurance of the broken spirit. The repetition of "Violent was a silent girl" becomes a refrain not merely of character but of condition. Her muteness is not born of meekness but of survival, a grim inheritance from a childhood steeped in violence and neglect. The language is almost deceptively simple, yet behind its vernacular facade lies a Shakespearean tragedy rendered in modern argot. Her father was a bastard is a line that cuts like broken glass, blunt, unpoetic, and thus all the more horrifying in its authenticity. Ren spares us the lurid details with the chillingly compassionate line, "I'll spare you of the things he did." I don't even want to think about that. But it's a silence louder than any scream, allowing the imagination to paint horrors too cruel for words. Again, don't want to expound on that part. As Violet's life unfolds, the setting shifts from domestic hell to the sterile banality of working-class subsistence, a semi-detached council flat, and stacking jars like pickled bricks. These images are not merely descriptive, they are emblematic. They are emblematic of an emotional stasis, the architecture of despair. Then enters Stevie, a microcosm of her father's cruelty, a man who wields charm as a prelude to corrosion. Now, we ladies would know of people like this. And Wren's cruel symmetry in every night he tuck her tight but never left the room is nothing short of poetic genius in a way. The line returns like a ghost, a haunting refrain that collapses past and present into one ceaseless cycle of violation. The final phrase, he'd paint her black and blue. Sadly, it's both literal and metaphorical. The pigment of bruises becomes the palette of her existence. And here, Wren distills the philosophy of fatal recurrence, that unhealed wounds do not merely scar, but propagate, birthing new tragedies from the marrow of the old. I mean, it's bloody sad. Okay, let's keep it going.
Blue and dark. She never stood a chance.
Oh, great vocal.
The devil comes to dance. Violet, why are you always so quiet? On her bedroom door and he's irate. He's been drinking and smoking, He's up late. And he stands by her bedside,
This is
she
Stevie.
shakes, but her eyes stay shut. You fucking slut, I know you're up. And he pinches her eyelids and folds them up. Violet, why are you lying to me, Violet? She stays silent, things turn violent. That's the sound of his fists when they fall like a crashing pilot. Hit like hailstones, one to the collarbone, full force, full blown, blood's black bone, crack, knick, knack, paddywhack, one to the jaw and the tooth spat, detached fist connects and disconnects a bone. A quick deflect to misdirect the blow, but nonetheless his punches met her throat. Such a mess he's left her bruised and broke. Violet, why you always so silent, Violet? Why you such a little liar, Violet? Do you think I want to do this, Violet? In character, she stays silent. Well, say something, Violet. Silence. Fucking say something, Violet. Silence. Wait. Say something, Violet. Not one word. She stays quiet.
Did he kill her? Wait, why did I pause? Okay. Let me digest what I've heard so far and then get back to the story. Because now, the thing is with his songs, you could easily make a movie out of them. Okay, so moving on here. This section of Violet's Tale stands as one of the most harrowing depictions of domestic violence ever committed to verse. A sonic, lyrical descent into the internal machinery of abuse. Wren dispenses with metaphorical veils here. His pen becomes both scalpel and sledgehammer. The repeated invocation, Violet, why you always so quiet, functions as both accusation and refrain. It's a grotesque parody of tenderness wherein the abuser demands voice. From the very silence he has engineered the dumb bastard. The line, the devil comes to dance, is chillingly apt here. Evil here is not some spectral figure, but the all too human intoxication of rage and power waltzing through the domestic shadows. So Wren's rhythm, breathless and percussive, mimics the battering itself, the consonantal collision of blood splat, bone crack, knick-knack, paddywhack. It's forming like a sort of grotesque nursery rhyme, perverting childhood innocence into the rhythm of brutality. And his use of rhyme and repetition becomes almost ritualistic, invoking the cyclical nature of violence, each blow a punctuation mark in the morbid grammar of control. Yet amid this horror, there lies a profound philosophical lament, the confrontation between speech and silence. Violence muteness is no longer merely fear. It becomes defiance, resistance, even transcendence. In refusing to respond, she denies her abuser the validation of his dominance. Her silence becomes the last realm of sovereignty left to her. And Wren's genius lies in rendering that silence deafening, a void that swallows the abuser's fury, reflecting back the monstrous futility of his cruelty. What we witness is not merely violence, but the annihilation of voice itself, the unmaking of a human being beneath the weight of another's desecrated power. Okay, this is an excessively graphic journey, and we're reacting to a song. Somehow, someone was actually telling me in the comment section that I was made to react and analyze Wren's work. I do appreciate it. And yeah, I feel that way too. But let's keep it going.
One word, she stays quiet.
Such great technique. Okay, we're going back to the beginning, aren't we? Full circle.
London City, far from pretty, 2005. A lady down in Paddington is fighting just to stay alive. The doctor, in a state of shock, saw something here so very wrong. See, Violet, she was pregnant. Poor Violet, she was 9 months gone. Turning to the doctor, Violet broke her silence and she cried, if I'm to die right here tonight, please let my baby stay alive. The doctor soon regained composure, called the surgeon to come in. As Violet's world turned to black, the curtains closed, the lights went dim. In London City, far from pretty, 2005. A lady down in Paddington just lost the fight to stay alive. A tragedy or a miracle, it happened on these very streets. Two twins aligned side by side. A girl named Jenny and a boy named Screech.
The best musical storyteller, hands down. No one compares. I mean, this entire trilogy has been my favorite thing that I've done on YouTube since Money Game. Actually, everything that I've done with Wren is the best thing until I do something else with Wren. So, okay, where to begin? Okay, so, here, Wren completes the circle of his tragic triptych with breathtaking poetic precision, and there's a lot of poignancy to it. The familiar refrain, again, London City, far from pretty, returns like a mournful toll of fate's own bell, reminding us that the same indifferent city, which cradled violence, now bears witness to both death and beginning, death and genesis. The clinical imagery, the doctor's shock, the sterile hum of Paddington Hospital ward, stands in exquisite contrast to the raw humanity of Violet's final plea. Please let my baby stay alive. It is a line of pure sacrificial grace, the chrysalis of material love transcending mortal terror. In this moment, Violet ceases to be merely victim. She becomes martyr. Her silence finally breaking not in resistance, but in ultimate surrender for the sake of life itself. The revelation that the twins, Jenny and Screech, are born from this crucible of violence transforms the trilogy into a grim parable of inherited trauma and just really tragic casualty. What we have witnessed across these tales is not three isolated tragedies, but one continuous cycle of suffering. The serpentine Ouroboros of violence devouring its own progeny. Yet, even in this despair, there flickers a slender flame of hope that from Violet's extinguished light, two lives emerge. Imperfect, fractured, but breathing. Wren, ever the poet-philosopher, leaves us in this tension between miracle and calamity, inviting us he's inviting us to contemplate the most haunting of questions. Can beauty or even redemption be born from brutality? So thus the trilogy closes, not with resolution, but with reflection, an elegy for the voiceless, rendered in the key of humanity's most fragile hope. And there we have it, Violet's Tale, the closing chapter in Ren's tragic yet transcendent trilogy. What began as a story of innocence and consequence now rests in reflection, a mirror held to the human condition, reminding us how pain can echo, how choices ripple, and how empathy redeems. Folks, if you've walked with me through Jenny's sorrow, Screech's turmoil, and now Violet's haunting finality, I invite you to revisit or explore the full journey in my Ren Reaction playlist linked in the description below. Each chapter unfolds new meanings when seen in the context of the whole. If today's exploration spoke to you, if it stirred thought or feeling, I'd be truly grateful if you'd comment, like, subscribe, and share this video. Your voice, your presence, your engagement, they are the chorus that keeps Carl the Wordsmith alive and resonant. Your continued support through Patreon, Buy Me a Coffee, Super Thanks, or by becoming a channel member is deeply appreciated. A huge thank you to all of you once again. Until next time, ladies and gentlemen, I will see you lot in the next video. Please do be kind, be gentle, be respectful to one another, and help each other out when you can. And I'll see you lot in the next video. Take care, everyone. Cheers.